Let's not record that. Okay, well, what is Avalon and why do we care? Um, Open. Can you all see my screen? Yay. Oh, and by the way, in the document, links to our meetup and Facebook pages and our YouTube channel and my email address if you want to contact me. So, Avalon, the mystical isle of medieval Arthur literature, also known as the Isle of Apples, the Isle of the Blessed, the Otherworld. In Arthurian legend, it was the place where Arthur receives his mortal wound from his evil his evil son Mordred, and dies and is taken to Avalon by the Lady of the Lake in various versions, and that's, you know, kind of the sum total of what we really know. It's excuse me. The thing is about Avalon is that we all, I think there's something just so mysterious and deep about Avalon. When we just speak the name, we instinctively bring back this the connection to this mysterious place, and not understand why. And I think it's because we all have been there many times. I believe that Avalon is the place where our spirits go when we die, and we process our lives, our lessons, what we learned, what we need to learn, and decide to reincarnate again. That's what I think. I also believe that we, as living souls, can visit Avalon whenever we choose and do healing and transformation work. It's an amazing place of healing and transformation. As you may know, the literature, all the stories that we know of Avalon that date back, I think the first one recorded in history was in the 12th century by Geoffrey of Monmouth, and he wrote down the legends that he knew in the 12th century. If you dig a little bit into the history that we know, we think that Arthur really was a living person. Maybe Arthur didn't do everything that he was given credit for doing, but he did really live in the west of England, maybe in Cornwall, maybe in Glastonbury. We don't really know, but 5th century is when it happened. And if you look into the history of the 5th century in England, it was the beginning of the Dark Ages. Arthur's death really spurred us into the Dark Ages, but that 5th century, that's also when Patrick came to be. Calling him a saint was maybe a little bit of a stretch, but that's also when the goddess breed was turned into the saint breed, who also mysteriously lived in the 5th century. Breed, I believe, is also very entwined with Avalon, and I think she entwines me in it. It's all her fault. Anyway, the history of the 5th century is fascinating and so full of legend. And isn't it interesting that that's where Arthur landed, and where we I don't know where my soul goes anyway when I think about this stuff. Avalon has for centuries been described as a mythical place that symbolizes purity, abundance, magic, transformation, healing, and has a strong significance in Western culture. Um, I don't think it's at all, um, what am I trying to say? I don't think it's all at all unreasonable that those of us with either ancestral connections back into the UK and or past lives in the UK would feel this connection to Avalon. Um, and of course, the location of Avalon is very unknown and deeply argued. The body of Arthur is supposed to have been buried at Glastonbury Abbey. And if you've ever been to Glastonbury, I've been 4 times. It's just one of my favorite places on earth. And it's it's an incredibly magical place. Is it Avalon? Maybe. I know that I've had conversations with magical beings on the Tor, the Tor is this very strange hill that rises about 500 feet very suddenly. Um, and there are 2 streams, the red stream and the white stream, that crisscross at the base of the Tor. And yeah, so what? They're little water streams, right? Who cares? Well, the white stream is called that because it has an abundance of calcium in it and actually looks white. And the red stream has an abundance of iron in it and it actually looks red. The red and the white streams have everything to do with Arthurian literature, um, and Avalon, and they are really magical streams. Nobody can tell why, but they both run at a constant rate of gallons of water per hour. I forget what the numbers are, but rain, shine, storm, drought, they always run at the same amount of water, and they are really magical. They cross at the base of the Tor. Standing on the Tor is standing in another place. It's standing in the other world. Is it Avalon? I don't know, but God, it's still cool. Avalon is also in myth, um, possibly past the western the west end of the world in Cornwall. Um, it's also rumored to have been in Brittany, off the coast of France. So we don't know. We don't know. I think it's fascinating. It's called the Isle of Apples, and there are a lot of connections to the symbolism of apples related to Avalon. And I believe Avalon is, as I said, this place of healing and transformation. I think the Lady of Avalon is maybe also the Lady of the Lake, or maybe a version of her. They talk of there is chatter amongst the people who follow Avalon as a magical path, about the Lady of Avalon, and her many names. They talk about the Lady of the Lake being connected to Merlin's maybe cohort, maybe enemy, Nimue. They connect a lot of people with names and fascinating stories that maybe give us glimpses of who's who and what's what. But I believe that there is that each of us doing spiritual work in this lifetime are going beyond the myths. That's what the way they speak about Avalon is going to an island that's surrounded in myths. And so going beyond the veil of myths is, if you think about the veil being a metaphor for the mundane world of noise and chaos and murder and greed, envy, etc., going past the myths is going into that world, that other world, that's a mysterious and yet beautiful and healing place. And that going to Avalon is a journey that we should all be taking at one point and another in our lives. So I founded the Temple of Avalon to be a place where all are welcome to learn, heal, explore, and go deeper into themselves and into the mysteries beyond the veil of myths. And I'd like to introduce you to that world and take you on a journey through the myths. And perhaps we'll meet the mysterious Lady of the Lake, Morgaine, or Morgan Le Fay, who was rumored to be Arthur's half-sister and the mother of his illegitimate child, and a lot of other crazy stories. She was not an evil, wicked person, but was she a witch? Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! And there are the 9 fairies who guard King Arthur's body in Avalon, and are also could also be considered angels or ascended beings of tremendous power that you can meet on this magical journey. So I think we talked about some of this. Those who seek Avalon are those who are seeking to traverse that deep reflective water of the unconscious, to move beyond the layers of illusion that restrict our ability to see with clarity, to journey past the farthest reaches of our self-imposed limitations, where we can reach that distant land, that shining isle of authentic wholeness that lies at the core of each of us. So through the lessons of Avalon, we're called to be self-sufficient, empowered, gifted with the blessings of sight, psychic sight, and healing. The journey within ourselves is sometimes sparked by pain or loss or deep longing. We are called to cross the lake and embark upon this journey through our consciousness, the watery realm of mystery and emotion. To become a priest or priestess of Avalon is no small task. I love this. We are orphans in a sense for that ancient place of training, and learning in the ways of an Avalon priest or priestess that no longer exists on this plane. So you have to earn that honor with your own work. It's a potential realized, a birthright claimed, that's given to you by the Lady of Avalon. They're beings from Avalon. I don't want to limit that. That's what I've experienced, but that doesn't mean that's all that's there to experience. Reading books, attending workshops, completing study courses, none of that's going to really initiate us into the mysteries. We can only walk that path with hard work, inner seeking, issue resolution, affecting positive change in our lives, and nurturing the ability to manifest, to become the people that we're born to be. When we're finally able to acknowledge and actualize our true selves, we finally know the truth of the spirit within. And you get the idea. The greatest challenge in becoming a priest or priestess is becoming our authentic self, the best we can be. And we touch that part of ourselves, not frozen in fear. Huh? I don't know what I was saying there. We touch the divine, whoops, within us. The more authentic we are, the more we allow ourselves to be more, and we are examples to our brothers and sisters, all walking our own paths to divinity. I'll pause there. How does that sound to you? Any questions, comments, things that came up? Anybody wants to share?
I think it sounds fantastic. It sounds magically wonderful. As you're talking, I've already gone into my mind, envisioning this magical area of mine. And it's
Awesome.
really cool.
Awesome. How does it feel?
Really fucking cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Did it stir anything? Okay. Well, the foundation of any energy work, get this. This is such a surprise. Is breath. Rhythmic breathing acts to bring us in line with the cosmic tides and opens the channels of our bodies to receive from the universe. Rhythmic breathing with intention during waking time ties us to that unconscious wisdom that takes over when we sleep. So to find your breath, I invite you to sit and clear your mind. Bring your attention to your breathing. And for the moment, keep it natural. Don't get caught up in any stray thoughts that may come. Just acknowledge and release them. Breathe through your nose for a count of 4. Hold it for a count of 4. Let it out through your mouth for a count of 4. And hold it out for a count of 4. This is called the fourfold breath. Once more, in your nose for a count of 4. Hold it. Out your mouth. Hold it. And once more, in. Out. See yourself in an ancient forest. It's night and the moon is full. You can barely make out her outline through the thick overhang of the trees above you. There's enough ambient light for you to see that you stand on a walk, a well-used path leading through the woods. Experience the feel of the space and the desire to travel up the path through the dense trees. You feel very safe and supported. With each sure step on the path, feel your fears and worries and cares fall away. Let them be absorbed into the earth with every footfall. Knowing that many people have walked this path before you, and many now walk beside you. And many will come to walk it after you. Connect with this feeling of timelessness. And continue forward through the woods, noting everything you see, feel, smell, and touch. As you continue, notice that the woods are becoming thinner. There is moisture in the air, and springing underfoot, the path curves to the left. The trees give way to brush. The brush gives way to a clearing. Find yourself on the marshy shore of a dark, still lake. The moon is high and bright in the sky. Notice her reflection on the glassy surface of the water. Cast your eyes over the water to the far shore. A wall of mist descends, hiding it from your sight. Rolling in to surround you. Feel the moisture on your face. Experience what it's like to be enclosed in this dark, cold mist. You become aware of something shining through the grayness. A glint of metal appears in the diffused moonlight. Hanging by a crimson ribbon from an overhanging limb of a gnarled ancient tree, a branch bedecked with 9 silver apples glows invitingly in the surrounding bush. Inspired, you remove the silver branch and discover that each of the hanging apples is a cleverly wrought bell of silver. Grasping what appears to be a handle, you succumb to the urge to shake the branch. 3 times you shake it, and 3 times the tinkling laughter of the bells echoes across the lake. Becoming absorbed into dense mist. Returning the branch to its resting place, you note that the only reply to the bells is a deep, expectant silence. After a time, you sense rather than hear the movement of a vessel across the water. Almost instantly, the prow of a small boat is visible to you as it comes to a halt on the shore in front of you. This is the barge of Avalon. 3 dark hooded figures stand on the prow. One of them extends her hand to you. You take it, and she helps you on board. You take the place that has been prepared for you on the boat and sit. The hidden figures move to the farther end of the barge. The thick mists obscure them from your sight. The boat begins to move, gliding effortlessly across the water. Again, you sense rather than see movement in the front of the barge, barely detecting a hint of muted sound. As if by magic, the veil is split, and the fire of the shining shore is clear before you. Breathe in the wonder of this vision, the blessed Isle of Avalon. As quickly as the water began this journey, it comes to an end. You feel the barge scrape slightly upon the hallowed shore. Looking to the hidden figures, they nod assent and you depart. You step for the first time on the sacred ground. Plant your feet firmly here and feel the energy of this place pulse through your feet. Up your legs. Infusing your very being with healing. You have come home, sister, brother. After a time, you feel drawn to move forward. You walk away from the marshy shoreline in the direction of a distant hill, the Tor. You're engulfed by a sweet, heady scent, and you find yourself in a vast apple orchard in full springtime bloom. The white blossoms glow silver in the moonlight. They burst forth from each tree and riddle the dark ground like stars in the night. Ancient trees surround you, wonderfully gnarled and twisted. Walk among them. Move forward. At last, find yourself in the center of the orchard, standing in front of the largest and most ancient tree on the whole island. This is the mother tree of Avalon, whose roots are firmly anchored in the distant past of Avalon's beginnings, and whose curving limbs reach upward towards the unknown future. Some branches bear delicate blooms, you notice. Others hang low with ripened fruit. Some reach for the sky with skeletal bare fingers, bare as bones. Her powerful trunk is thick and twisted with age, yet more solidly strong than the most well-tempered steel. She is the vital heart of this most sacred grove, the guardian of the orchard and the keeper of wisdom. Approach the tree and extend your consciousness to honor its energy. Give your name and speak your intention to learn the ways of the goddess in Avalon. Explain that you are a student and seeker of wisdom. If you so choose, ask in all humility for a guide to the shores within and without. The mother tree begins to glow brightly. A soft breeze rustles through her branches like a contented sigh. There is a blinding flash of light, and when your vision clears, you see a figure standing before you. This is your guide to the realms of Avalon. Introduce yourself to this guide. Once more explain why you have come and what you wish to learn from walking the Avalonian path. Take as much time as you need. Fill yourself with every detail you can about your guide's appearance and energy. Ask for a name you can use and a symbol you can use to connect with him or her. Listen to her words. Receive the gift she holds for you. Ask how and where you can connect with her again. Extend your hand to her and hold hers in your own. Give her a gift in return and be sure to thank her graciously. And when you're ready, bid your guide farewell. Thank the orchard and the mother tree for receiving you and facilitating your connection with your guide. Return the way you came, back to the lake, where the barge awaits you. Turn and look at the island one last time. Take 3 deep breaths to fill your soul with its energy to take back with you. Bow in reverence and deep gratitude. When ready, take your place on the barge. Effortlessly again, you glide across the water. With magical swiftness, you find yourself on the far shore once more. Again, disembark from the boat. Thank the priestesses for seeing you safely to Avalon and back. They incline their heads towards you, and the barge departs. The curtain of mist again, enshrouding it in the sacred lake. Find the path that led you here, and enter the woods once more. Follow the path to the last place where this journey began. Making this pilgrimage each time it's undertaken, the pathway will become clearer. Take 3 deep, calming and centering breaths. And return to your space, remembering all that you've seen and experienced. This journey is a means to reactivate the spiritual essence of ancient Avalon and provide a potent method of bringing ourselves back to wholeness. There is much to explore in the Avalon landscape. There are power places to work and sacred sites to see and reclaim. When we visit these ancient sites, kindred energies within us rise to meet them. When we sing the song of the sacred landscape, our souls call it back. Once we can approximate the energetic signature of this place, we can access archetypal symbolism and the other world becomes open to us. And then we awaken its corresponding energies within us. Blessed be. How was it?
It was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Very different than other things I've done, different kinds of meditations, I suppose. Way more fun.
Hot?
So much more fun.
Fun.
Like when the mist was rolling back in, that was very powerful. The exchanging of gifts was really
Mm-hmm.
cool. Got a
Yeah.
little, like, I don't know. So, like, in my mind, I was given a little wooden bird, which was kind
Ooh.
of cool. Almost like a hawk or a falcon, um, but more drawn out as a strong symbol.
Wow.
Um, and it was kind of fun because it was more like I was given a memory to take with me.
Mm.
It was really cool. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anyone else want to share?
I can share, Sherry. So
Cool.
for me, when you asked us to like walk into the forest, there was this, I don't know what to make of it, but there was this white horse and
Ooh.
someone sitting there had the knight armor. And they followed me through the path. But when you said it's kind of dark, and just the moon. I could see the moon, but it was still very bright. Like it was like daylight, but with the moon.
Wow.
I don't know what that means. And when you asked us to, kind of get onto the barge, the knight didn't let me.
Really?
Me away from the barge, and he's like, "I will
Ah.
take you through it." So I was with him. But then I couldn't get past the mist. As soon as you spoke about this mist, I was so cold. I had to go put on something else because it was so cold. I could feel the mist, but I just couldn't go past that. And then it was when I closed my eyes, I could see the mist, but I saw these purpley kind of waves just weaving in. I don't know what that means, but that was it. I couldn't go past that.
Did you get any more information about the knight and what his name is, or um, did you shake his hand?
I did. He was with me throughout.
Nice.
I mean, well, I don't know. It's probably maybe because I'm watching Merlin, but I thought it was Arthur, but I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, an
But I
encounter with Arthur. Wow, chills.
I
So
saw
cool.
Arthur of mine too
You
at one
did?
point, and it was right
Wow.
about the mist.
Ooh.
nice.
Was he on a horse when you saw him, Charles?
No, but he was in a really nice suit of armor and did have a sword.
Wow.
Same for me, it was no sword, but just on a white horse.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And when we turned back, he was like, he kind of instead of like walking next to me when I walked in, I was actually walking. But
Hmm.
on the way back, he kind of took me on the horse with him and we started riding.
Wow.
And I couldn't see the orchard, like I couldn't see the silver apples. All I could see was this big apple tree, but with red apples, and I could literally make out the red apples with green leaves.
Wow.
That was it for me.
Cool.
So the sweet smell that I smelled was
Yeah.
chamomile.
Chamomile. Mm.
And then you talked about white blossoming flowers. And I was like, yep, it was chamomile.
That's
I could
awesome.
literally smell it.
Wow. That is super cool. I smelled jasmine. And the spirit that I saw was a skeleton in a black cloak, and was all just bony, you know, no flesh, and was giving me a lecture about being dead and being alive and receiving my energy as being alive. And just reminding me to, I'll be there sooner or later, but oh, and she said her name was, was Peace. Not something I ever go after. I'm not into peace. So that's probably why I need to start seeking peace.
I saw a bear the entire time with me. When you were talking about a guide, it was just a bear in the apple orchard with me.
Cool. Big brown bear?
Black bear.
Black bear. Mama black bear?
Yeah, actually.
I've seen Mama Black Bear. You don't mess with Mama Black Bear. What a powerful figure.
She didn't feel threatening to me.
She's seeing you as her cub.
Describe the tree and going in and to meet your guides, I got sucked in and like enveloped in the tree. And then when I came out the other side, my guide started as an owl.
Ooh. Big white owl or brown owl? Do you have a sense of color?
More white, gray. Yeah.
Like a snowy owl, huh?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Eventually changed into a female figure.
Yeah.
But this very strong impression of owl.
Awesome. Awesome. Trying to remember which goddesses were associated with owls. I think Morgan Le Fay was. Usually the dark crowns, you know, like Hecate and maybe Persephone. Persephone is kind of dinging on me. Did you get a name?
A short name, Stella.
Stella.
I think it's a nickname or like a personal name.
Uh-huh. Yeah, seems to me like Persephone. I don't know, that's what I'm getting. I could be totally wrong, but she's a star goddess.
So when I was interacting with, you know, one of the female goddesses, she had an amazing glow, very, very flowy.
Really?
Lots of flowiness. And that was really cool. I was super intimidated. I was scared. I had impressions of death a few times walking through the forest. The forest was pretty scary for me.
The forest can be very scary. It's you just never know what's about to jump out at you from the trees, right?
Yeah, so in my mind there was dark people, a lot of shadow movement, spiders were abundant.
So when you landed on Avalon on the shores and you felt your feet kind of sink into the sand there and you felt the energies come up, what did that feel like?
That was cool because, you know, during the thing, you know, I was kind of wearing like a shroud almost. And, but when I had gotten off the boat, I was no longer wearing shoes. I was completely barefoot as I connected to the earth to take my first step on the holy ground. I wanted to feel pure, so I did it with bare feet. Eventually, I ended up in shoes again when I was leaving, like boots and stuff. But that was cool to have like my pants and my shroud and then just connect completely barefoot with the holy ground.
Wow. Powerful. Yeah, I felt it like it was almost hot as my feet hit the ground and I felt the energies come up my legs. So, the challenge of Avalon is, I think, a personal challenge. I've always been, you know, for those that don't know me, I've got I think 7 planets in Aquarius. I probably couldn't be more Aquarian, and I've got this really intense feeling about that individual growth and individual evolution is what's the most important thing in spirituality, and um, helping others find their individuality has kind of been my job as a priestess. But the it's what am I trying to say? The in the 30 plus years I've been in the witchcraft world, um, I've met people that are into that soul evolution thing, but so many are so into all the other trappings, you know, hexing people to get revenge and all that kind of nonsense. And I've never felt completely at home until I started um, going on these journeys to Avalon and working with Avalon spirits. And so this just feels like home to me. Um, I have taught in the past. I went through, um, I studied with a priestess who was a solo, and then I studied with several groups and, you know, got my teacher cord, blah, blah, blah. And I never felt like that, you know, people have moments of evolution, but I never felt like traditional witchcraft, the way it's been taught, the way I was taught to teach it, is the way of evolution. And so I've struggled. I have not taught in probably 5 years or so, maybe longer. And I'm not sure that I'm going to teach again, but I've been getting harassed in the last month or so. Harassed. And so if there was anything I was going to teach, it would be um, healing and transformation and Avalon, and not, you know, like spell work and more traditional witchcraft stuff, because it just doesn't call to me anymore. Anyway, if any of you are interested after this little chat and journey to Avalon in doing more work with me, I think that's my next step. I do want to continue doing public Sabbaths and, excuse me, So these witchy woo Sunday conversations. But I'm thinking if you want to join Avalon work, I think it's moons. I think it's full moons and new moons. And I don't know what that looks like. I'm still not completely convinced that Zoom is the way to learn this stuff. Because I really think being in person and sharing energies is super important also, but I'm still kind of figuring things out. So if you feel called to do any of that work with me, please shoot me an email or text or whatever, and let's talk. Next Sunday, we're going to be doing Salon, which is going to be a march into Avalon, led by Mananan, the guy that was the guy on the barge, you know, that brought souls to the underworld, and kind of like Hades. Like Manana's story is similar to Hades, and the Lady of the Lake. So that'll be fun and interesting. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to broadcast it on Zoom, even if it's valuable, because that one, you're literally on this march going into the underworld and honoring your ancestors and meeting them. And it seems like a really physical, have to be in person thing, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll try anyway. And you're all welcome. I need to run to the restroom really quick. I'll be right back. I'm sorry, that was a little rude. Oh, I'm still recording. Maybe I should stop it.